My name's Aimee Witteman. I'm the director of the U.S. States Policy Initiative for the Climate Imperative at Energy Innovation, and I recently stepped down as the Midwest Climate and Energy Program Director at the McKnight Foundation. Through my work at McKnight, I had the great fortune of working with Rolf Nordstrom and the Great Plains Institute staff for over 10 years. We know that climate change is here in the present. In just the last few weeks, we've witnessed wildfires devastating the western United States, increasingly intense storms pummeling the Gulf, and a derecho that destroyed 14 million acres of farmland in Iowa this summer. Science argues that our success at averting the worst consequences of climate change largely depends on our performance over the next 10 years. As daunting as the challenge is before us, there are also reasons for hope. Clean energy technology is getting cheaper, and people around the world are taking advantage of these technologies, realizing huge air quality, health, and economic benefits. We are finally seeing powerful oil, gas, and utility interests face existential threats. Climate change is increasingly factored into capital markets, investment decisions, and core business models. And we know that a transition from fossil fuels to clean energy means real investment to rebuild our country in the face of our current unprecedented public health and economic crises. It is an opportunity to address and advance racial equity, to create good-paying jobs, and to ensure a livable, vibrant future for all of us. Among the questions in front of philanthropy are, what will it take to advance and accelerate ambitious climate action at the state and federal levels? And what is the role of philanthropy to be society's risk capital and to work alongside grantees to support courageous, decisive action? As foundations, we know we individually and collectively need to support a portfolio of groups and approaches to address the climate crisis. We need strong technical expertise and capacity in regulatory venues and at state legislatures. We need leadership and representation in regional transmission organizations. We need robust, multiracial, and multi-issue coalitions to build people power, to change the public narrative, and to create the conditions and demand for both incremental and transformative change to rapidly decarbonize the economy. And we need to bring together diverse stakeholders to see around corners and tackle the next big challenges on the horizon, like industrial decarbonization and carbon capture. The Great Plains Institute has been one of the McKnight Foundation's pillar grantees, which recognizes the fact that but for GPI's work on climate and clean energy, we would not be able to reach our goals of bold action on the climate crisis in the Midwest by 2030. GPI is an essential part of the state, regional, and national clean energy advocacy fabric. GPI is unique in that they are nonpartisan, they're technically grounded, they bring together people from across sectors, across economic, political, and geographic differences to work through technologically complex issues. They use a consensus-building orientation. And importantly, they're situated as a leader here in the state of Minnesota, but also work across the region, the country, and at the federal level. Some recent examples of activities that McKnight supported that showcase this depth and breadth of GPI's work include the fact that GPI is unique among its peers in bringing together very diverse stakeholders to tackle some of the thorniest technical challenges in front of us. For several years, GPI has convened the Mid-Continent Power Sector Collaborative and the Mid-Continent Transportation Electrification Collaborative, which pulls together private sector leaders, environmental groups, state officials, and other stakeholders to develop plans and align efforts. Being nimble, GPI is now using this Mid-Continent collaboration platform to also shape what a federal stimulus package could include to accelerate the deployment of clean energy technologies and to bring good jobs and investments into the region. We know that local municipalities are on the front lines of a clean energy transition, and for many years, GPI has worked in collaboration with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency to administer the Green Step Cities program. Through this, GPI has provided local units of government with energy data and have helped 40 Minnesota cities incorporate energy, climate, and resilience into their official plans. And GPI is constantly adapting to the rapidly changing conditions in the clean energy market and in the movement. Several years ago, GPI recognized that without the full backing of energy utilities and alignment between utility business models and our climate goals, we risk falling short of the emission reductions we need to avoid climate disaster. McKnight supported GPI to spearhead the E21 project, which was a multi-year collaboration that again brought together utilities, regulators, environmental groups, and consumer advocates to explore a framework for a 21st century electricity system in a ways that a performance-based regulation can support the transition from coal to clean. Finally, like all social and environmental change endeavors, it really comes down to people and the kinds of leaders and leadership that we need to be supporting. GPI staff have always impressed me for being open, curious, and non-ideological, for driving for results, for being adaptive, and for spotting issues on the far horizon. It's the type of leadership I think is needed in our fight to address the climate emergency and to take advantage of the health and economic benefits of a clean energy transition. Like many white-led environmental organizations, GPI board and staff recognize that we individually and collectively must do a better job of ensuring that the processes and outcomes surrounding our clean energy work incorporate the perspectives, wisdom, and leadership of frontline communities and of communities of color. GPI has made a commitment to equity, to learning more about these issues, and to ensuring that their work promotes justice. During these fraught times when polarization seeks to undermine our collective efforts to advance climate goals, it's more important than ever that we support organizations and partners that are skilled at bringing together diverse groups of people to recognize differences and our shared goals around building a better world for current and future generations.